I'm going to do a drawing of the creature in the arrival. It's like people always say, what is its name? And it doesn't really have one, but I did refer to it as Diggy, because we have a parrot named Diego. He's like a little Brazilian sun conure, which is a kind of a very yellow and orange parrot with green wings, and he's quite a character. I've based quite a few characters on his personality. That's sort of like mischievous, very engaged, pet kind of thing. But what I might do is just start off by doing a couple of quick sketches of Diego, if I can remember his proportions, and a tadpole. So the creature in the arrival is sort of like a marriage of the parrot and the tadpole, which is often how I approach coming up with a weird creature. Is a weird creature should never be totally weird. It should be actually things we recognise, but arranged in a way that might be a little bit new. Okay. It's not original as such. So Diego, he's made of curves, as my wife always says. And look at his curves. So this is the even when I draw it, I can feel the naughtiness radiating off of him, like he's such a so he's got beak and everything. So something like that. A little bit of a cheek there. Anyway, the head is the key bit.
How long did you have Diego?
About 9 years.
Was he always mischievous?
Yeah, he was less so when he was a little baby. We used to take him out to cafes and for walks on the street, and he would sit on other people's shoulders. But then I think he kind of reached something like puberty, and he became a little more territorial and picky about sort of people he liked and didn't like, and so we can't really take him out anymore. I mean, he flies and everything, so there's a slight risk when you take a parrot out without a chain or any kind of attachment. But we sort of he doesn't want to fly away, so he's like a cat or a dog. He'll go a little distance and then come back. So that's not quite accurate, because I like to draw from life where possible. I need to look at something when drawing, and but that's kind of like that's a parrot head.
So in that sense, do you do a lot of research when you're getting ready to do a book? Do you have a lot of images in front of you to look off of?
Yes. More and more I start to use a computer to compile those images and organise them in a filing cabinet, and sticking stuff up on my walls. But I usually need to be looking at something, even if it's completely unrelated. So you might be drawing a landscape, but looking at a series of objects on your desk, even just to pick out shapes. But I have to respond to things. So
are there certain types of images that inspire you more than others, or certain things that you use to get
yes. Often just landscapes really do it for me. Less so than characters. Some people will be drawn to character. I sort of my stories come out of landscape, and certain photographs of landscapes. I'll just go, wow, there's something in that. I don't know what it is, but it's really got something. So anyway, that's Diego. Something like that. It's a bit too elongated. And then as a kid, we lived next to a swamp, and it was sort of like a swampy lake, and we used to catch fish and tortoises and tadpoles and take them home, have them in the aquarium for a while, and then put them back in the lake. With the tadpoles, we get them as frogs' eggs, and then raise them in an aquarium, like feed them until they became frogs. And that was a fascinating process, like to just see these tadpoles, starting off as little black commas or apostrophes, and then turning into these larger sort of, I'm not sure if this is very accurate either, but this sort of thing, and then sort of the way the eye forms, and this sort of eye intrigues me. It's kind of like an expressionless eye, and yet it's so full of expression. So with Diego, the only way he expresses to us is with his eye, the dilation of the pupil, and how round it is, which tells us if he's worried or he's comfortable, or if something is sweet that he's eating or not. You can tell by looking at his eye. And at the same time, it's expressionless, so a lot of it relies heavily on us to read that, we have to read that into the character, we have to project stuff. So, like with I'm not even sure how much this looks like a tadpole, but there's a similarity between the eyes that's interesting. And also the other thing about frogs and tadpoles is seeing those intermediate stages where they start to, get these little appendages coming out like that. It's really fascinating. Like, it starts off like that, and then I think, it becomes these like little legs, and then you get the little arms coming out, and the way you can see the limbs growing gradually. So as a kid, that fascinated me. So the creature in the arrival is sort of the personality of Diego crossed with the body of a tadpole as a starting point. And there's a sense that the creature is in an intermediate stage, like a tadpole. For me, anyway. I don't expect the reader to think of that, but it helps me to kind of identify with the creature thematically. So